Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and do the belly thingy. Because oftentimes Democratic voters are relegated to voting against the Republicans and not for something, which is why I think Bernie Sanders, performed so well. He ran for healthcare, for education, for infrastructure.
I can tell you this didn't happen under President Trump. And I know there's a lot of people on the left that want to try to blame President Trump. He wanted out of Afghanistan real bad. He was real frustrated not being able to get out, but he didn't pull out because he knew this would happen. In fact, we all did. I called it on this program. My 12-year-old son knew about it. And so I've got Americans there that are stuck. To me, that's a hostage situation. But Joe, I appreciate you working to get them out. I really do. Yeah. And I wish you all luck in the world.
With due respect,
thank you for
with due respect, Grant, I mean, like, veterans, being one, right, and our friends are over there.
Right.
We followed this closely for multiple administrations, and we know that Trump's administration's efforts here were fairly weak, that they were trying to limit the number of people that would get out. And so there was coordination problems.
Joe, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm already weak. I'm already low on time, Joe.
Oh, he's already weak.
Cut him off, please. Cut him off now. Cut him off now. You're not gonna blame this on President Trump on my show.
You're not gonna blame my dad. My dad could beat the fuck out of your dad. My dad's the CEO of the army. So mad. Literally, like, earlier in that segment, he was like, Trump predicted this. He's like, dude, Trump's like the Messiah. He's like the prophet. He just, like, predicts everything that's gonna happen. You're not gonna blame Trump. Don't do it. Not on my program. Get this fucking veteran out of here. Piece of shit.
That escalated quickly. So that's Newsmax. And please, seriously, spare a thought for the challenge they face every business day, having to program an entire network for just one single viewer.
Ooh. Damn, John Williams. Or Brian Williams. God damn. Fucking roasted, cumstered, and dumpstered. Do you think Trump is going to run again in 2024? More than likely. I am like 70-30 on him running again. He's doing the same thing he did before him running and during his campaign in 2016, where when they asked him, will you accept the results of the election? He said, oh, we'll see. Which is kind of a good move. I think he hates losing. I don't know. Oh, 100%. Well, consider like who he is. He's a gaudy New York billionaire, fail son, had everything handed to him in his life, has never worked a day in his life. Losing? He's part of the elite. The elite don't lose. They make bad investments, but they don't lose. The odds of him running again depend, I think, entirely on the 2022 primary. Because Trump could announce his presidency at his campaign. Do you think that would be good for the left if he ran again? Yeah, 100%. So, most politicians, savvy ones, will begin their campaign once the presidential election is over. Once the new president is in office, kick things into gear. Okay? You start slow. Okay? You agitate in the media. You agitate online, you sprinkle in little hints of like, hey, I could do things better. I have a vision for how things should be ran. You sprinkle those in. A year into the presidency, then you start flirting in the media and online and within your circles of a run. About midway through the second year, that's when you announce. You start campaigning. You start agitating more and more and more. You ramp up. Once the registration for running opens, that's when you officially make the announcement. You don't make an official announcement until that registration's over, unless you're running for president and you're Donald Trump. Donald Trump never stopped campaigning. He was still doing rallies after he was inaugurated. He never stopped doing rallies. Between his vacations and him agitating to, arrest and put Black Lives Matter protesters in Guantanamo Bay, and, nudging our way into war with other countries, he was always at a podium in front of a screaming crowd. He loves it. He loves the attention. He's a showman. But him running in 2024, I think, depends entirely on whether or not congressmen and senators perform well in the midterms. If, for whatever reason, by some miracle, the Democrats hold the House or expand their power in the House and the Senate, which at this point seems unlikely, he may disappear into obscurity. But if Republicans even get a little bit of a foot in the door, if maybe we close that senatorial gridlock, yeah, he's going to run. Because right now, the Trump movement is kind of dead. Not dead, but preoccupied. We don't hear much about the Proud Boys. We don't hear much about the Boogaloo Boys. Or the 3%ers. Patriot Prayer. What we hear about right now is anti-vaxxers. Anti-mandate people. Trump needs to galvanize his base around one or two singular messages if he wants to, really bring it home. Because the problem I see right now is if Biden runs again, which he has hinted at being a one-term president in the past, I don't think he can handle a debate again. I mean, sun's getting real low. You know what I mean? So if Kamala runs against Trump, she's got anti-charisma. She is off-putting to people. Didn't get a single delegate in the primary. Somehow became vice president. Not a single delegate. The story changes all the time. 2 months ago, it was critical race theory. Oh yeah, they'll find something. It all depends on timing. If the new boogeyman comes out right around time to announce, it's getting that time. If a new boogeyman comes out, I don't know, what would it be? Because we had, just in the last 2 years, trans women in sports, Antifa, critical race theory, COVID, the Wuhan flu. So it all depends on what exactly the boogeyman is. Because for Trump, it was build the wall in 2016. That was a staple of the Trump campaign. The issue right now is that third shot? No. I don't think he can win the presidency on anti-vaccine stuff. Because remember, it was his campaign, Operation Warp Speed, that brought the vaccine into existence. So Trump's not going to undermine his own success. You'll notice, at his last campaign, where, look how cute she is. Look at that little nugget. Look at her back there. At one of his rallies recently, he was like, The vaccine, it works so good. I recommend you take it. But you have your freedoms. He was like trying to play both sides of this. There's just people not taking the vaccine. He got booed for telling them to take the vaccine. Yeah, he did. But right now, he can't run a campaign on not taking the vaccine. He's an egomaniac. He's a narcissist. He got the vaccine made. Remember the line? They said it was going to take 5 to 10 years for a vaccine. I did it in 9 months, folks. It's crazy. It's so good. You would have never had it. So what he will likely run on is Biden fucked up the Afghanistan withdrawal. The price of gas is soaring. The price of red meat is really high. Inflation, oh my god. He's being controlled by the communists in the squad. You know, those are little staples that he can have in his campaign. Beijing Joe, or Beijing Biden. He's China's bitch. Price of gas is high right now? Not really. Not really. Maybe in some areas, but consider that America also pays like half of what Europe pays for gas. Also because we don't have any public transportation. There's more of a need. There's a high demand for gas. It all depends on like what Joe can do in the next 2.5 years. You know? If he can get this budget reconciliation pushed through, you know, get some infrastructure built. I mean, really improving America's infrastructure is going to take, you know, at least 2 decades of constant work. Getting it up to date to like modern country levels. More like what he can fuck up. That too. Well, that's really it, isn't it? If we're talking about like, can Trump run and win? That's the question. What is he going to run on? Because the wall, that's old news. He could come back and say, we're going to finish the wall, folks. We're going to finish. It's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. Never mind that miles of it have been torn down simply from environmental erosion. And Manchin is fucking this all up. Well, Manchin's a Republican. Come on. He's a Virginia Democrat. He's a Republican by all of his metrics, whatever. Yeah. But like down the list stuff we can go through, but that's not enough to galvanize it. Now, if Trump goes like full bore authoritarian, like full bore fascist, he could galvanize him. He could even go like eco-fascist. You know what I mean? These Democrats, they're not taking climate change seriously. They're gonna have all these migrants coming to our southern border, trying to get into our country while their countries are flooding. Because they didn't take action against the climate change, folks. Their beautiful cities all underwater now. They're trying to come here. I think more likely someone like DeSantis, Tom Cotton, will run. I think that's more likely to happen. You need somebody, you need like a young face, you know? The Republican Party loves Trump. And here's the thing. If Trump doesn't run... West Virginia, sorry. If Trump doesn't run, whoever he gives his full-throated endorsement for, that's who's gonna win. Now, if he gives it to some, like, very milquetoast Republican, Hawthorne's too young, I believe. And too, like... Do you think DeSantis is gonna run? If Trump doesn't run, then yes. Because it depends. Remember, the Republican Party is the party of Trump. All he did was run the same Republican playbook, but not pretend he was doing it like with the best intentions, or do it with some kind of facade of intellectualism or honesty. He just did what Republicans do and want. Mask off, yeah. Many Republicans are still like in that mask on mode. But people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Matt Gaetz, there's no mask in that. And Trump emboldened that. He just made them comfortable with the way they do things. Made it about an ideological war. A war for the culture. A war for the future of our children, you know? About a mythologized past. I'm describing fascism, by the way. Yeah, we'll see. Do I want the content? Sure. Do I kind of miss Trump having a Twitter? Absolutely. He's hilarious. Let's be honest. Crazy? Yes. Dangerous? Absolutely. Hilarious? 100%. Because fascism is buffoonery. I mean, the Nazis were a bunch of meth heads. They were constantly running into logistical hurdles. What if Trump doesn't run? What if he gets hit by a bus tomorrow? Well, I mean, if he doesn't run, I mean, it's a question of whether or not, one, Biden is going to try and hold office for a second term. If he can hold office for a second term, god damn, he's a walking corpse. Two, if he doesn't run, does Kamala Harris run in his stead? Or do we have a completely open ticket? Is the presidency open for the taking? Do we have a Game of Thrones situation, you know? Because DeSantis looks like a promising person in the, I don't think he will seek re-election. I don't know. It depends. Maybe they'll pump him full of adrenochrome. Put him on some HGH. Do you think he will? I don't know. Like, we're not even a year in right now. And the, like I said, the sun's getting low on Biden. Odds that he'll run again are about, I'd put it about the same as Trump running again. 70-30. 70% yeah, 30% probably not. Maybe 60-40. Probably 60-40. One of the worst parts about our political system is that 8 years is not enough to accomplish anything. You need like a consistent hold on power for a political party. The midterms right now is everything. I don't think that's why Kamala agreed to be VP serve for one term, and he would support you. Yeah. Like Kamala Harris, dude. It's Kamala Harris. The literal pot of greed. A little misogynistic, but I'm gonna show you guys this just because it makes me laugh. The pivotal thing is that, one, we perform well in the midterms, and two, whoever runs in 2024 on the Democratic ticket runs on something. Not against the Republicans, not against Trump, but runs on something, for something. Because oftentimes Democratic voters are relegated to voting against the Republicans and not for something, which is why I think Bernie Sanders, performed so well. He ran for healthcare, for education, for infrastructure. They need to sell us on something. They need to sell us on why are we bothering voting for you? What have we gotten out of the Biden presidency so far? We got out of Afghanistan. Okay? So, that's one thing. We're not at our vaccine goal or vaccination goal. You know what? I'm at 50-50 now on whether or not Biden's going to run again. I think about it. Yeah, I get that, but that's the Republican playbook. Against immigration, against healthcare, against abortion. Republicans are against any change. Yeah. Some of them are against changing anything. They want to keep everything exactly where it is. They are conservative in that. They just want to conserve where things are right now, economically. Socially, maybe go back like 2001, you know, where everybody hated Muslims and gays couldn't marry each other. There are other Republicans who, yes, as you pointed out, go back to the 1950s. Repeal the Voting Rights Act, like Larry Elder, the guy who just lost the California recall, against the Civil Rights Act openly. So it all depends. Right now, we can only speculate. Part of me wants to see Trump run again. Part of me fears someone like Tom Cotton running. God forbid Tom Cotton runs. I feel like DeSantis is appealing to a lot of Republican voters, I think, because they look at Florida, they ignore the COVID deaths, and they look at how free Floridians are. They're like, look, that man's doing it right. He ain't telling people how to live their lives. Look at some property in Panama City. I like the beach. I like day drinking. Maybe we'll make this into a segment and I'll post it on the YouTube. I haven't posted a YouTube video in a couple weeks.